Oh my God, this guy is genius. He went to apply for a welder job asking for a monthly salary of $40,000. The boss took out a broken truck rear axle and said, "If you can fix this at zero cost, $40,000 a month is no problem." The guy started right away with his tools. First, he cut and separated the crack part, completely removing the broken area. Then he took it to a lathe for machining, turning the rough edges to make them smooth and even, laying a good foundation for the repair. Next, he picked a steel tube with a similar diameter to the axle as a replacement for the damaged part. To save costs, it would take about 3 hours to cut. Back at the lathe, the rough edges were smoothed out. Now, the protruding parts needed to be cut off to make room for the new steel tube being sawed. After the lathe work, the steel tube was in the final sprint of sawing. The master compared the sawed steel tube to the rear axle, found it was a circle too big in diameter and couldn't fit. But no worries, there are always more solutions than problems. He cut a notch in the steel tube with a cutting torch and hammered it down, making the tube instantly slimmer. After hammering, he compared it again and found the size was just right. Then he could weld the gaps of the steel tube inside and out, forming a hole, and grind the protruding welds flat for easier lathe processing to shape it correctly for a better match with the broken axle. After processing, it could be fitted into the broken axle and welded internally to connect it. This repair technique is called sleeve connection, which is more reliable than direct welding and very cost-effective. After some welding and pinning, the next step was to connect them to the rear axle, forming a hole. To ensure this process went smoothly, the man borrowed the boss's precision equipment to ensure the assembled size was within the specified range and used homemade tools to measure the axis position, ensuring it rotated on the same central axis to prevent deviation. After all parameters met the standards, the connection could be welded and fixed. The shrinkage from welding had to be countered with hammering. Weld a bit, measure, and repeat several times until the welds slowly closed. Once all welding was completed and the welds were ground smooth, the rear axle was repaired. The man would get a $40,000 monthly salary. So, the question is, did the boss profit or lose?